Thinking about selling your house privately, but still feeling overwhelmed about what's all involved? Well, you're not alone. From pricing your property to handling all the legal paperwork, for sale by owners comes with its own set of challenges and uncertainties. In this video, I'm going to be answering the most frequently asked questions about selling privately so you can approach the process with confidence and clarity. Let's dive in. What's up, everyone? My name is Jack Bouvier with the Bouvier Realty. If you have any questions about the buying, the selling, the investing journey here in Saskatchewan, I'd be more than happy to help you out. Feel free to give me a call or shoot me a text. My contact details in the description below, along with all my links and free resources. So feel free to go browse on the website and get your home evaluation if you'd like, and I'd be happy to connect with you, help you achieve your real estate goals. Well, what is a for sale by owner, you might be asking? It's sells their property by themselves. For sale by the owner, which it stands for. When you don't hire a real estate agent, it's when you're going to handle everything on your own by yourself, from pricing to marketing to negotiations to paperwork to time showings and all that stuff. Lots of people choose doing a for sale by owner to save on the commissions, and they think that they're going to get more in their pocket at the end of the day. Typically, these real estate commissions charge about 5 to 6% depending on the kind of property. Sometimes commercial is a little bit differently than residential. Is selling privately right for everyone? I would say no. Selling privately is not right for everyone, as it is a lot of time. You need a lot of knowledge to understand the process of actually being able to market, price, sell, and negotiate your house to a close. It is a lengthy and very in-depth process. So if you don't have the time or the expertise to be able to sell your property privately, then you might be better off hiring a real estate agent. For sale by owner property works best for those sellers who have the time, who have the market experience and knowledge, and the willingness to learn, and is very stern to be able to negotiate the property to a close. Some questions about pricing and marketing. If you don't know if your property is priced correctly, you're going to want to research recent sales for similar properties in your area. If you want to see all of the sold data that happened in your area, you can simply go on my website. The link is in the description below, and you can see all the property at a certain criteria and type and style of house in your area and know exactly what it's sold for. Another great way to know if your property is priced correctly is to get a licensed appraiser to come in and pay for an appraised value on your home. These can cost anywhere between $500 to $1,000, but an appraised value is the exact thing what a bank would use to get a loan on your property, and you know that by having that appraised value, you can use that for negotiations to the buyers that are interested in your property. What are the best ways to market a for sale by owner house? Well, here in Saskatchewan, we have something that's called Sask Houses. There's other sites that's called forsalebyowner.com and propertyguys.com, but you can also use all sorts of other online social media sites such as Facebook, Kijiji, Craigslist, Google, YouTube, Instagram, social media, Facebook community groups, marketplace, all that stuff, and you can sell and market your home privately on those platforms. I would recommend, if you are going to be marketing your property online, to use some professional pictures to really make sure that the property stands out in its best light, as you're going to get probably 90% of your buyers browsing online to then come and see your property in person. You want to make sure that your online ad presents itself well and actually intrigues buyers to come and want to see your property. How do you stage your house? Well, there's lots of staging companies out there that will be able to come and give you a quote, typically between $900 to $1,200 to do a staging services, and it will increase in time the longer that you keep in furniture. However, you can simply stage the property yourself if you'd like to go to Valley Village or some sort of secondhand store and find some nice unique furniture to make your property all nicely staged. However, obviously it does come with a cost, and quite honestly, in my opinion, you're going to be better off time-wise and money-wise to hire someone who has all that stuff for you that you don't have to go run around to get and move into your home. And then by the time you buy it and everything, and if you don't need that furniture afterwards, now you're stuck with it. So that's kind of sucks. Staging is a very powerful tool because it helps the buyers envision themselves moving into the space. Now, once you've priced your home and you've marketed it correctly, now you need to know how to negotiate and show your property. So how do you actually handle some of these showings? Well, you're going to want to try to schedule a convenient time that works for the buyer, but it also works for you, because you don't want to be running around like a chicken with their head cut off. So you want to try to schedule a time that is most convenient for both parties, and ensuring that the house is clean, tidy, it smells good, there's lots of bright lights, and it presents itself well. Offer evening or weekend slots to accommodate for working buyers if you have to. What if a buyer wants to negotiate on the price? You must be prepared to negotiate a little bit, because every buyer, every person, it's just psychological. People want to feel like they got a deal. And so if you priced your house slightly above your bottom line, then there's a little bit of room to negotiate, but you're going to have to discuss price, the contingencies, as well as some of the repair requests that they might make for you. So know your bottom line and be willing to compromise a little bit if you have to on minor details. Another question a lot of private sellers ask is, do they need a pre-approval from buyers? And the simple answer is no. You do not need a pre-approval. It's not mandatory by any means to actually close on the deal. However, it is a very, very, very strong prerequisite in order to ensure that the buyers are financially capable and able, willing, and serious to actually go ahead and buy your place with the proper financing in place. Since this pre-approval, it shows them exactly how much they can afford, making sure that it is up to date. It's not a pre-approval that happened a couple of years down the road and now they've damaged their credit and they don't have any more deposit to put down, etc. By asking this pre-approval, which I always do when I'm representing my sellers and there's a buyer that comes in, is it does help you filter out some of those unqualified buyers. Now, you have questions about the legal and the paperwork side of things. So what sort of documents do I need in order to sell for sale by owner? Some key documents that you're going to need are obviously the residential contract to purchase and sale, any disclosure documents, your property condition disclosure statement, the ancillary services that outline all the services that will go along with the residential contract to purchase and sale. You're going to need the title and deed documents, any closing statements, and if you have any questions about any of these documents and paperwork, then you're going to want to ask your real estate lawyer to ensure compliance with the local real estate laws. Do you need a real estate lawyer? Well, the simple answer is yes. If you're going to be transferring title into a new buyer's name, transferring the taxes and doing all those adjustments, you are going to need a lawyer in order to do all that. And how do you transfer ownership? Well, here in Canada, we don't have title companies or escrow companies. We have the lawyers that handle all of that transfer of the title to make sure that it gets adjusted into the new buyer's name. Some common mistakes to avoid are simply overpricing your house based off of the market value, not necessarily your emotional attachment. Next, people often skip the professional pictures, not realizing the importance of how it presents online. Poor quality images make your listing less appealing. And lastly, lots of private sellers neglect the legal requirements. It is a legal process in order to sell your house and transfer ownership into the new buyers. So missing any of these documents or incomplete disclosures can delay the sale. Some tips ultimately to sell your house privately would be to prepare thoroughly. Make sure you do your research, stage, price your home competitively, market it as best you can. Make sure you communicate clearly, respond promptly to inquiries, and keep the potential buyers informed as to what's going on. And then next, you're going to want to stay organized. Use checklists or apps to track down showings, offers, and paperwork. Selling a house privately doesn't have to necessarily be overwhelming if you have the right information and strategies in place. I hope this video did answer some of your questions and gave you the confidence to move forward and attempt to try to sell privately. If you're looking for expert advice or any support or staging along the way with your for sale by owner journey, I'd be more than happy to help out. Feel free to give me a call, no pressure obligation whatsoever. My contact details are in the description below, and I'd be happy to help you.